Hi, everybody. I'm Shweta, partner at RSC Legal Solutions. Today, in this short video, I will be discussing about the newly launched RoadTap scheme with effect from 1st of January 2021. In this regard, I'll be sharing a presentation with you all so that it's easier to understand. Yeah. So, implementation of the scheme for remission of duties and taxes on road exported products. The scheme is known as RoadTap. What is RoadTap? Uh, Till now, there was a scheme in the name of MEIS, ROSL, ROSCTL, which were provided to the exporters of various items, ROSL, ROSCTL specifically for the garment sector. But now these schemes have been replaced by the Road Tap scheme with effect from 1st of January 2021. These schemes have been discontinued because they were not WTO compliant. They were more in the nature of subsidies, which was given to the exporter, which is against the WTO norms. And therefore, now the new scheme, RoadTap, is being introduced, which is by way of rebate of the taxes which are incurred by the exporters for manufacture of their items. So this provides for the reimbursement of embedded central, state, and local levies incurred in the manufacture or distribution of export products not reimbursed earlier. Levies such as VAT on fuel used in transportation, mandi tax, duty on electricity used during manufacturing, etc. They are sought to be reimbursed here. Even the taxes like the toll tax and all. So while collection of the data, all these data was collected, and accordingly the rates for road tap are being framed so that accordingly the exporters can be reimbursed for the taxes which they have incurred. This is because the law says that only the goods have to be exported and not the taxes. This scheme, this road tap scheme, would be in addition to refunds such as drawback and IGST, meaning thereby that when the goods are exported to outside India, the exporters would be eligible for the drawback scheme under the customs section 74 and 75, the IGST refunds under the GST laws. Presently, these GST and custom duties on inputs used in manufacture of export products are either refunded or exempt. But this road tap scheme will basically be available as a rebate on the FOB value of the exports, and this will not be granted in cash. In fact, this will be granted in the form of scripts. Which can be utilized either for the payment of customs duties or which can be traded. It's a very curious question as to why this road tap scheme is introduced when already there were schemes like MEIS, ROSCL, ROSCTL. What was the need to introduce this road tap scheme? So this arises due to the fact that there was a dispute going on in the WTO with regard to the MEIS scheme because it was viewed as a scheme in the nature of subsidy to the exporters, which is not allowed in terms of the agreement on subsidies and countervailing measures. So US claimed India's export incentives to be illegal and not in accordance with the WTO's agreement on subsidies and countervailing measures. India was not entitled to provide export incentives contingent upon export performance as its gross per capita income exceeded dollars 1,000 per annum. WTO panel ruled out MEIS as against the WTO's trade norms. So therefore, the MEIS is being replaced with the RoadTap. The new scheme may be the WTO SCM agreement compliant. So this is the reason why this RoadTap scheme has been introduced, and it has been, though in mechanism wise, MEIS was also granted as a percentage of the FOB value. The road tap scheme would also be granted as a percentage of the road FOB value. Um, it will be based on the exports made by the person. There would be no requirement of actual calculations which need to be given to the government to claim any sort of refunds. But still, because of the mechanism in which and the law by which this scheme has been introduced, it is said that this might be WTO compliant. RoadTap versus MEIS. RoadTap is compliant with WTO trade norms. MEIS was not compliant with WTO trade norms. In RoadTap, refund rebate of central excise state local levies. MEIS was an additional reward on export of goods. So as I told you that it was just a sort of an what we say it was just a sort of a promotion. It was just the MEIS scheme was sort of an additional benefit which was given to the exporters. But this road tap will actually refund or rebate the central state and local levies, various taxes. The data has been collected from various exporters. Incentive rates yet to be notified. Percentage of FOB, this remains the same, that both are based on the FOB value of exports. However, what will the rates of the road tap scheme are not yet notified, and will be known only when the notifications are rolled out. Key features of the road tap scheme: implementation on the basis of press release. This scheme has come into effect from 1/1/2021. White press release dated 31/12/2020. Further notifications have not yet been issued. This is the, I would say, in legal terminology, a biggest loophole which has been created, that this scheme has been implemented. This is a beneficial scheme for the exporters. If you see, it is replacing an existing scheme, and a new scheme has been launched, but the implementation has been made with a press release. How much this is legally tenable, we all know that, because the beneficial schemes or any kind of schemes cannot be implemented with the help of the press release. There have to have the notifications which actually implements the schemes. But as of now, there are no notifications. Whenever the notifications will be rolled out, they will definitely be retrospective in effect, giving effect to it from 1/1/2021. However, even then, if they are retrospective in nature also, if the people who have not availed this benefit from 1/1/2021, can they still go in the courts for their claim, because actually the scheme was rolled out uh, through this press release, is really questionable, and that we really need to see when we approach the courts for that. MES stands withdrawn with effect from 1/1/2021 by notification number 30 by 2015/20. Road tap rates to be notified shortly. As I told you prior to this slide also, that road tap rates have not been notified till now. The road tap rates, the rate shall be applicable from 1/1/2021. However, the advisory which has been given and the press releases which are released, they very clearly say that the scheme has to be implemented from 1/1/2021. This is really causing a very big problem, because till now the rates are not there. Exporters are not aware as to what would be the benefit that would be granted to them. But there is some benefit which has been granted to them. What they are aware is that there is some benefit which has been granted to them with effect from 1/1/2021. Transferable duty script, electronic scripts to be issued. The script, as I told you earlier also, that this is not a cash benefit. The government will not give you cash like the duty drawback, but they will issue you the scripts, and these scripts would be transferable. And these scripts will be generated online by the exporter himself, and thereafter he can transfer those scripts, he can use those scripts. uh, so they're freely transferable, to be maintained in the electronic road tap credit ledger account. The complete mechanism has been given by the government in its advisory pertaining to road tap, that how the ledger accounts have to be created on the IceGate portal, how the scripts have to be generated from the portal, how they can be transferred at the portal, and how they can be used. Scripts can be utilized for payment of basic customs duties. As of now, we understand that these scripts can be used only for the payment of basic customs duties. They cannot be used for the payment of your IGST, which you pay on the import of goods. They cannot be used for this welfare surcharge cess, but they can be only used for basic customs duties. Scripts are freely transferable. There is no doubt in that. Now let us see the procedure for claiming the benefit under the road tap scheme. There is twofold procedure which is applicable for claiming the benefit. One is the claim in the shipping bill. Second is you have to create your own ledger account, generate the scripts for your benefit. So there is twofold. If you have not claimed in the shipping bill itself, you will not be able to create any ledger. It will not be credited to your electronic ledger. If so, first foremost step is that you should claim it in the shipping bill per se. There are procedure has been prescribed. The following declarations are to be made in the table of the shipping bill. You can read it like in info type, you have to mention it as DTY. Info QFR, you have to mention it as RDT. Info code is, if you are wanting to claim road tab, then you have to mention as uh, road tab Y. If you are not wanting to claim, then you have to mention it as road tab N. N means road tab no, Y means road tab yes. So you have to mention that. Additionally, in the statement type, you have to mention DEC. Statement code, you have to mention RD001. So these are the basic schema which has been launched, in which you can claim your road tap in the shipping bill, from where the amounts will be directly credited to your electronic credit ledger. um, Apart from this declaration, when you mention that statement type is DEC, you also have to give a declaration in this format. There is the specified format, and every exporter is required to give this declaration. This declaration, as of now, has not been made a part of the shipping bill per se. It is not like if you click on statement type DEC in statement code RD001, then automatically this declaration appears and you just have to click it yes and go ahead. No. So as of now, this declaration is not made a part of the shipping bill. This declaration has to be submitted along with the shipping documents. What the exporters can do is they can take a printout of the declaration, sign it, stamp it, scan it, and upload it along with the other documents of the shipping bill. But giving of declaration is mandatory. That exporters need to see where they can give this declaration. This is one way which I recommended how the declaration can be given. But as of now, there is no automatic declaration in the shipping bill. Let us see that in times to come, this kind of automatic declaration comes in the shipping bill, because it will be very handy. Then you just have to click tick on the declaration, and then you're sorted. Claim on IceGate portal. Uh, as I mentioned you that this is a two-step procedure. One is the claim in the shipping bill, and thereafter you have to claim it on the IceGate portal as well. Once you claim it in the shipping bill, the amounts as per the prescribed rates, whatever will be the prescribed rates, that will get credited to your credit ledger. But for having that credit ledger, you need to have the an account on the IceGate portal. So you have to create a account on the IceGate. You have to register yourself on the IceGate portal with the DSC. There are various types of accounts on IceGate. One is like simplified user account or something like that, but you need to have a full-fledged DSC account with the IceGate, where you will create the RoadTap credit ledger account. This account is required in order to use the facility of electronic ledger. If you do not have this facility, then in that case, you do not have this account, then you will not be able to claim your credit ledgers in the form of scripts. What is the step for doing this RoadTap credit ledger account on IceGate portal? The government has in the we have attached various screenshots as to how the account ledger has to be created. You first click on the road tab, then accordingly you move forward. You have to create your road tab account here. Once the account is created, you see various tabs activated. You are also assigned a road tab account number, so all your credits will be reflected in that account number only. So this is how you have to create your road tap account. Once the claim shall be processed by the customs upon filing the EGM, and admissible amount of benefit would be made available on the user account. So this benefit, road tap, will be available only once you file the EGM, and the amounts will get credited only after filing of the EGM. So if the EGM is not filed, then in that case, you will not be entitled to any benefit. In fact, we have also come to know that till the time the EGM is filed, if there are certain amendments to be made in the shipping bill with regard to the road tab, till that time you can still make the amendments also. After the EGM has been filed, no amendments would be permitted to the to be made to the shipping bill. Step 3 is the exporter can thereafter log into the account and convert the amount into credit scripts after selecting the relevant shipping bills. Similar to the credit generation, the creation of the ledger account, there are certain screenshots attached with this PPT, which talks about the script generation. You see a tab called SB details. You click on the SB details. Your account number along with scheme and location will be reflected. Thereafter, you have to select the scheme and the location. Once you select the scheme and the location, your shipping bills for that very location, your port location, will be reflected in the on your screen. You can select individual shipping bill, you can select multiple shipping bills to generate the scripts. Once your scripts are generated, script number will be generated successfully. After that, you can see the script details, the transaction details. Similarly, you can see whether your scripts are active, inactive, expired. All these things are possible through this portal. Step 5 would be, once the script is generated, the user may utilize it for payment of customs duties or transfer it to another user having a valid credit ledger account. So once the script is generated, the user can just transfer the uh, uh, script to any other person having a valid IEC number through the same credit ledger account itself. There, if you see, it is necessary to enter the IEC number of the receiver. Also, it is mandatory that the receiver is also registered on the IEC portal for the credit ledger account. Only then he can receive the credit scripts from the transferer. So if I have to transfer the scripts to some other person who is having a valid IEC, but he is not registered on the customs portal, the IceGate portal, for the credit ledger account, then in that case, he will not be able to receive the scripts. The scripts transfer can only be made through the credit ledger account only. There will be no other mechanism for transfer of the scripts. So the receiver needs to have the credit ledger account. The user to whom the script is transferred is required to approve the script transfer request by logging into his system. So again, if we see here, there is a tab for approve script transfer. Once the receiver approves the script transfer, in that case, he will have the OTP generated, and once he punches in that, the script will be successfully transferred to him. So the transferer even has the option also to, once if he has suppose mistakenly transferred the script to a wrong IEC, or mistakenly transferred bigger scripts as compared to the smaller scripts to the receiver. In that case, he still has the option to cancel the transaction till the time the receiver approves it. Once the receiver approves it, then definitely they are transferred to him, they are transferred to his account, and nothing can be done. However, before that, the receiver also can cancel, the transferer also can cancel. Script will be successfully transferred upon approval and validation. So here we see that this is the mechanism which has been prescribed for transfer of credits to the exporter's account, thereafter generation of the scripts from those credits, and transfer of those scripts to the some third person. Now, key points to be noted here are that it is mandatory to make a claim for road tap in their shipping bills with effect from 1/1/2021. If you have not made any declaration, or if you've not made a claim in the shipping bill, then in that case, all your exports which have commenced from 1/1/2021, in that case, you will not receive the road tap benefit for those exports. Even though the rates are not notified yet, whenever the rates will be notified, the government will simply apply those rates on your exports and accordingly give you the benefit. So it is necessary for you to declare your intent. It is necessary for you to claim in the shipping bill. Definitely, of course, as far as the account creation is concerned, credit ledger account creation is concerned, the exporter can make their account right now, or maybe in 10 days, 15 days, means after any number of days, whenever they will create the account. In that case, whatever exports they have made, and if they have made a claim for road tap in their shipping bills, then in that case the government will automatically calculate the eligibility for the road tap, and those credits will be given into their credit ledger account. So it's not that if you have created after 10 days you will be losing the benefit for the previous 10 days. Those will be accumulated and shown shipping bill wise in your credit ledger even after your creation of the account. As of now, there is no time limit for registration on the for creating the credit ledger account. That account can be registered and created at any point in time. Declaration to be made for all items in the shipping bill. This is uh, a mandatory condition as well again. But it is not that for one shipping bill one declaration is required. This is flowing, this language is flowing typically from the advisory, maybe advisory and the press releases that are released. However, may be quite possible that when the notifications are out, these kind of conditions are either not there or they are amended, because it's difficult to make a declaration for each and every item separately. So how this declaration will be, maybe that is configured in the system itself. And if you are required to give the separate declarations, that there might be clarification whether the declaration is required per shipping bill wise or it is required per item wise. But as of now, from the press release, we understand that declaration is required to be made in the shipping bill for all the items. No benefit of road tab would be given if the claim is not made in the shipping bill. This I've already explained. The rates have not yet been notified, but the intent to claim must be made in the shipping bill itself. Again, I've explained this, that even though rates are not notified, still the exporter must make a claim in the shipping bill itself. The system would be automatically calculate the amount on the road tab scheme once the rates are notified, and the amount would be credited to the user account. System to disallow the benefit to advance authorization holders, jobbing, EOU, etc. This is very important point. Um, in the documents which have been released by the government till now, there is only one liner which says that system will disallow the benefit of this road tap scheme to advance authorization holders, jobbing, EOU, etc. They use the word etc. What all categories are included, nobody knows. We also don't know. That will be known once the notifications are out. Secondly, it also says that there are inbuilt system checks which will not allow the exporters to claim both the benefits. So if you are an advance authorization holder and you want to claim the benefit of the advance authorization, then in that case it's not possible in the system itself that you take on, that you claim both the benefits in the system. System will allow you to take only one benefit at a time. However, to say that why the advanced authorization holders, jobbing, EOU, etc., are not given the benefit, I do not find personally any reason why these are not given the benefit, because in any case, whatever taxes that are sought to be reimbursed by road tap scheme, they are also borne by all these categories of exporters. So many representations have gone from advanced authorization holders, EOU, as well to the ministry to allow this benefit of road tap to them also, because these mandi tax, toll tax, electricity duty, uh, and VAT on petroleum products, excise on petroleum products, all these taxes, they are very well borne by these categories of exporters as well. So therefore, there is no reasoning behind as to why the advanced authorization holders and EOU holders, they are deprived of this benefit of the road tap. Declaration has to be filed in the prescribed format, and the format I have already shared with you in the previous slides. Now we come to a very important point. that is various representations that have been made to the ministry. Till now we see that there are many goody goody things in the road tap benefit. However, the manner of implementation is very poor, because it's been brought out through press release, not through any notifications. So how they will be implemented, what is the legal sanctity, that remains a question mark. Even whatever has been rolled out, even in those documents, there are many questions which still remain open, and therefore there have been various representations that have been made to the ministry. First representation that has been made to the ministries: allow the benefit of road tap for shipments through courier and foreign post office also. Dispense with the need to file declaration in the shipping bill. This is why I said, dispense with the need to file declaration in the shipping bill, is because as of now there is no automatic inbuilt declaration in the shipping bill for this road tab. So the exporters have to file the declaration separately. If the exporters just forget to file that declaration or something like that, it will be a good ground with the government to simply deny you the benefit. Had it been made the part of the shipping bill, there was no chance that you would forget this declaration, because once you click on yes, you intend to claim a road tap, this declaration should automatically pop up, and you just click yes, and then the compliance is done. But as of now, there is no inbuilt system in the shipping bill for declaring the making this sort of declaration. Correction of ad hoc entitlement, as the software is incorrectly calculating the ad hoc entitlement. So what has been done as of now is that there are some ad hoc percentages that have been fed into the system, so as to uh, make the IceGate portal compatible with the not the portal compatible, but the filing of shipping bill compatible with the credit ledger. So because that must be a mandatory field and something like that, so therefore there are some ad hoc rates. So as of now also, if you see, if you create your account ledger and if some exports have been made post 1st January with the intent to claim road tap, then in that case there must be some amounts appearing in your credit ledger. But those are not correct amounts, because the rates have not been notified as of now. Once the rates are notified, all those amounts will be corrected automatically. So there are representations to the ministry that please remove this ad hoc entitlement, because this gives a very wrong impression and wrong understanding in the minds of the exporters. Clarification regarding eligibility of road tap scheme for EPCG holders. We saw that there was just one line in the press release which stated that advanced authorization holders, EOU, DFIA, they are not entitled. And advanced authorization and EOU, etc., etc. So there remains very blurred window for the EPCG holders. They are not clear as to whether they would be covered in this, etc., or not. So they have sought a clarification from the ministry that whether the road tap scheme would be given, the road tap scheme benefit would be given to the EPCG holders as well or not. It should not be limited by budget constraints, being a duty rebate scheme. This is very important, because MEIS, when we saw, it was a more of a subsidy and not a duty rebate scheme. And therefore, the government could very well have the budget constraints. It could always have fixed budget to distribute it to the exporters to boost the exports. But when we say it's a duty rebate scheme, road tap is a duty rebate scheme, it means that exporters have actually suffered those duties, and therefore this money is being given to them, this scripts are being given to them. So in that case, the government should not limit uh, by the budget constraints, because if that be so, then again the motto that only the goods should be exported and not the taxes will not get fulfilled. The this line that goods should be exported and not the taxes should actually be fulfilled in spirit, not just merely by fixing a percentage for some item. Road tap rates should be notified immediately. This is also one of the representation, because industry is apprehending that the ministry might take some time in notifying the rates, which would be very very harmful for the exporters, because if they will not be able to decide whether they want to take the advance authorization benefit or they want to take the road tab benefit, because there'll be no figures in front of them as to how to work out the beneficial scheme for them. Rates may be fixed at four-digit top to reduce fixation work and provide flexibility. This is also one of the demand, that the rate should be fixed at four-digit HSN and not six-digit or eight-digit, to provide flexibility and ease of really doing the business in India. Road tab benefits should be extended to advance authorization, EOU, DFIA, SEZ as they suffer the embedded taxes too. As I told you in earlier slide itself, that even the advance authorizations, EOU, SEZ, these also suffer all these taxes which have actually been merged to bring the road tax scheme, like the taxes of mandi tax, VAT or excise on fuel, electricity duty, toll taxes, etc. So all these exporters too incur these taxes. So there is no actually logic why these advance authorization holders in EOU and SEZs, they have been kept out, and the road tab benefit is not being given to them. So for that aspect, there are various representations that have been made to them. One of the very important aspect, that's transitional mechanism for shipping bills filed before 31/12/2020, but LEO filed on or after 1/1/2021 without the need to file road tab declaration. So yes, there are so many exporters who have filed their shipping bills before on or before 31st of December 2020, but their let export order, LEO, is generated and filed after 1st of January. So in that case, there needs to be some transitional arrangement, because LEO being after 1st of January, they are not entitled to the MEIS. And if we say that because they have not made the declaration on the shipping bills and all, because they were filed before 31st of December 2020, then they're not entitled to claim the road tap also. It will be really harsh to say that. So the government should bring out some transitional mechanism for the shipping bills which have been filed before 31st 12 2020, and LEOs being filed after 1/1/2021. Else those particular exports will not either be classifying for MEIS and not be entitled for the road tap as well. That's all, folks. I hope the presentation was useful to you. It gave you a snapshot of the scheme which has been brought out by the government. However, again, I would say that the government seems to be in much emergency to roll out this scheme, with the help of just two press releases, which nowhere lays down the procedure, which nowhere lays down the exemption list of goods, exemption list of persons, etc., etc. So it's all, as of now, I would say it's all a havoc which has been created for the exporters. I really fear that this should not happen. The same thing what happened with GST, like it was a good scheme but very poor implementation. The same is seemingly happening with the road tap as well, that it's a very very good scheme but with very poor implementation till now, unless and until the issues are sorted out in future through the notifications and the system related issues as well. Do write to us for any further clarification if you need in this regard. um, this is about ourselves, RSA Legal Solutions. We are based in Gurgaon. We have our partners all from big fours and top law firms. Thanks. Thank you, everybody.